going to talk about Courage is Calling by Ryan Holiday as a summary by the bestbookbits.com site. Link is probably not going to be in the description. Just Google for thebestbookbits.com and you're probably going to find what you're looking for. Ryan Holiday's best-selling trilogy, The Obstacle is the Way, Ego is the Enemy, and Stillness is the Key, captivated professional athletes, CEOs, politicians, and entrepreneurs, and helped bring Stoicism to millions of readers. Now, in the first book of an exciting new series on the cardinal virtues of ancient philosophy, Holiday explores the most foundational virtue of all: courage. Almost every religion, spiritual practice, philosophy, and person grapples with fear. The most repeated phrase in the Bible is, "Be not afraid." The ancient Greeks spoke of phobos, P-H-O-B-O-S, panic and terror. It is natural to feel fear. The Stoics believed, but it cannot rule you. Courage, then, is the ability to rise above fear, to do what is right, to do what's needed, to do what is true. And so it rests at the heart of the works of Marcus Aurelius, Aristotle, and C.S. Lewis, alongside temperance, justice, and wisdom. In Courage is Calling, Ryan Holiday breaks down the elements of fear, an expression of cowardice, the elements of courage, an expression of bravery, and lastly, the elements of heroism, an expression of valor. Through engaging stories about historic and contemporary leaders, including Charles de Gaulle, Gaulle, Florence Nightingale, and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Holiday shows you how to conquer fear and practice courage in your daily life. You'll also delve deep into the moral dilemmas and courageous acts of lesser known but equally as important figures from ancient and modern philosophy, such as Helvidius Priscus, a Roman senator who stood his ground against Emperor Vespasian, Vespasian, even in the face of death. Frank Serpico, a former New York City Police Department detective who exposed police corruption, and Frederick Douglass, and a slave named Nellie, whose fierce resistance against her captors inspired his own crusade to end slavery. In a world in which fear runs rampant, when people would rather stand on the sideline and speak out against injustice, go along with convention than bet on themselves and turn a blind eye to the ugly realities of modern life, we need courage more than ever before. We need the courage of whistleblowers and risk takers. We need the courage of activists and adventurers. We need the courage of writers who speak the truth and the courage of leaders to listen. We need you to step into the arena and fight. And I want you to step into the area of the light. Well, never mind. The call we fear. Today, each of us receives our own call. To receive, to take a risk. What is it? That it is. Should be fine. And to serve, to take a risk, to challenge the status quo, to run toward while others run away, to rise above our station, to do what people say is possible. There will be so many reasons why this will feel like the wrong thing to do. There will be incredible pressure to put these thoughts, these dreams, this need out of our minds, depending on where we are and what we seek to do. The resistance we face may be simple incentives, or outright violence. Fear will make itself felt. It always does. Will we let it prevent us from answering the call? Will we leave the phone ringing? Or will we inch ourselves closer and closer, treating ourselves, preparing ourselves until we are ready to do what we were put here to do? We defeat fear with logic. Do we really? I really doubt that. It's actually one of those things that I have seen is not necessarily the case, because, our brain is not logical, and this is why it's sometimes a bit of a difficult thing. But anyway, It's been said that leaders are dealers in hope, but in a more practical sense, they are also slayers of fear. False evidence appearing real. The part of your brain that sees the worst, the extrapolates out the crazy scenarios and consistently underestimates our ability to handle it. This is not our friend, nor is it the truth. The voice that roots against you, the tendency to catastrophize and exaggerate. This is not helpful. It is not giving you an accurate picture of the world. It's certainly not making you braver. Tell yourself, it's just money. It's just a bad article. It's just a meeting with people yelling at one another. Is that something you need to be afraid of? Break it down, really. Look at all the facts. Investigate. Not only then can we see. Only then can we see. This is the enemy. At the root of most fear is what other people will think of us. You can't let fear rule, because there has never been a person who did something that mattered without pissing people off. There has never been a change that was not met with doubts. There has never been a movement that was not mocked. There was never a groundbreaking business that wasn't loudly predicted to fail. And there has never ever been a time when the average option of faceless, uncountable strangers would be valued above our own considered judgment. Yeah, I find inspiring saying there has never been a business that did something great that well, first of all, that there has never been a great business that indeed nobody said would fail. We know it of Facebook, we know it of Google, we know it of, I assume, I think that I've read something or heard something or whatever. It's totally the case. But still, one other thing that really struck me was why is it so dark? The cam is really dark today. There was no one that did something that mattered, that didn't piss anybody off. Because this is indeed something that I'm thinking about very often. I do not want to piss anybody off. I don't want to piss off someone, especially people that I care about, especially people that I like, especially people that I think are amazing. I just, really don't want to do that. On the other hand, I really guess so that they are just, it's very difficult. It's very difficult not to piss anybody off by doing what you really want to do, because there's always going to be somebody against that, I guess, I assume, I think. Focus on what is in front of you. It doesn't matter who you are, you've probably got something to be worried about. And is the worry helping us? No, it distracts and obsesses us. It takes us down rabbit holes of doubt and insecurity through fantasies of exploration and doomsday predictions. All cognitive costs taking us away from the actual task at hand. There is plenty for you right now. That's why the Stoics talked about sticking with first impressions. Just what you see, what's here, not everything else that may or may not someday be related to it. This call you have to make, this check you have to write, this tip, tie trope, I guess, you need to walk, this throng you need to charge into. It's enough, too much even. Never question another man's courage. People are going to break. You have to understand this. People are going to struggle. As Epictetus, shaped by the empathy cultivated from his 30 years in slavery, would say, until we know someone's reason, we don't even know that they acted wrongly. We have no idea how terrified the brave were either. Only the laundry knew how scared I was, Louis Zamperini said as he reflected on his time as a POW in the Japanese camp. Thankfully, prisoner of war. Thankfully, this fear never broke him, not fully anyway, not publicly, but it came close. Judge not, lest ye be judged. If you're going to indict anyone to their cowardice, let it be silent by example. Waste not a second questioning another man's courage, but that scrutiny solely on your own. Actually, a lot of great phrases, a lot of great things, but I think that I'm going to end the episode there. I wish you the best and see you soon. Bye bye.